All right, hello to a new episode here on the War of the Rebellion Explorers. Again, one of my last ones here in Wels, Austria before moving to northern Germany. And I'm walking here along Kaiser Josef Platz, where most of the buses usually run during the week. But today, Sunday, it's very quiet, thankfully. I am just passing here. You'll see this in a minute behind me. The Goethe Bräu restaurant. And there is a sign that I want to look at briefly here with you guys. Let's take a look. Yeah. So you find this sign at various places throughout the city of something called a horse railroad, which ran, as I say here, Linz to Gmunden. And yeah, it doesn't give us a heck of a lot more. It just tells us that this thing ran through this part of town. And gives a little bit on the construction there. Rather depressing, right? Nothing left. So let's go to the studio and kind of see what we can find out about the early horse railroad in Wels and Austria. So hello from the studio now in regard to the Pferdeeisenbahn or horse railway. In this case, after doing a little digging, after I'd recorded that video in Austria, we're seeing that this railroad starts in Budweiser, or my American audiences, and then goes down to the city of Gmunden in the Lake District of Austria. It's quite a pass. The mountain ranges that they're having to traverse there through in the Czech-German borderlands. But what is done here is that this is for the salt trade, right? That the salt from the Salzkammergut, as it's called, where Gmunden is located, is brought along this railway up into Linz, where it can go over along the Danube, or it can go up to Budweis. It was done for passenger as well as transport, and you kind of get a nice sense here of the the horse-drawn carriages for passengers and traffic. In this, I just want to briefly look at a couple of images that I found with regard to the location of this going through the city of Wels, because that's, after all, what we're interested in. This is not the best of maps, but it's the earliest that I could very briefly get a glimpse at before subscription requirements kicked in. And you kind of see the railroad coming there in from the from the right side of the video and going out on the other dark line. And you don't get a good sense within the city of Wels where it actually goes in and where it comes out on this 1835 map. So I did found one that is from 1857, which gives us a much better idea about that. So we have the town there, we have the city of Wels. You kind of almost see a little bit that old city wall surrounding the inner core of the city. That would be like where the Pfarrkirche is, where the city hall today is located. And then that spot above where the railroad line, that black and white line comes through, that would be Kaiser Josef Platz, and that's exactly where we have that signage in the city. So it cuts very much along that road through the city of Wels on both sides. A little harder, like the road to the west is roughly still there. To the east, it's a little less. That would be going through the FH campus, for example. And that explains, of course, the one image that we have of the Pferdeeisenbahn going through the city of Wels after it is actually uh, turned into a proper railroad without horses drawing it anymore, which is this. It's a beautiful picture, old railroad there going through the city. You have the Semmelturm there actually as a picture. It's hard to imagine that you have a house that literally a railroad cuts through. But yeah, old days, if you like. So this is 48, so it's a little bit before the map from earlier. What is interesting too on the map from earlier here is that you have that kind of arrow line above the city of Wels. This the name there. And that kind of gives an indication where the actual railroad between Linz and Salzburg will be located because map from 1873, I want to say. Here, we don't have the Pferdeeisenbahn anymore indicated, right? That we still see the core of the city there, that very solid black. We see above it, again, surrounded by blacks, sort of the Kaiser Josef Platz, but we don't see the railroad that goes through it. We kind of see the road where it was roughly sort of hinted at still in both directions, but we don't see it. And instead, that black white line has now moved slightly to the north, where today's railroads are, whether it is the one coming from Linz down, then going to Salzburg, whether it's the one that goes down into the mountains, or the one going up towards the German border in Passau. So the new railroad line replaces the Pferdeeisenbahn eventually. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Pferdeeisenbahn going through Wels. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any information beyond what I was able to locate.